Our league deck. I've been like a little bit obsessed with Stoneblade ever since we had that good league or two with Mjolnir, Just Guy Stoneblade. I haven't exactly recreated that success yet, but the more I was playing those decks, the more I was thinking the red actually just kind of sucked. Mjolnir's not bad, but I don't really think it's worth splashing for. And Assimilation Aegis is you can't channel it to deal 2 to everything, but it is just kind of a better removal spell. When it enters, you exile any creature instead of only dealing 4 damage, and then you can equip a creature to turn into a copy of something. So you can like steal Quantum Riddler with this. It's pretty good. Um, you could even like, I guess sometimes like if your opponent kills your Riddler, Stoneforge Aegis to Riddler copy it. Not gonna happen too often. But I wanted to also lean pretty heavily in on Teferi Time Raveler so that I can go Stoneforge Mystic, put Meteor Sword into play, blow up a permanent, and then I can bounce this Meteor Sword back to my hand with Teferi and put it back into play. And then Teferi, I think, is also just a really good card in this format right now. Very good against Trudge. Living in is on the upswing. Um, good against Neoform. Good against the Necro decks, which are popping up. Just very popular. And I wanted to get some Force of Negations in the main deck, too. Wanted to get some Forces in the main deck, too. So this is kind of where I'm at. Still also liking the Cryptic Coat. Just 3 Stoneforge targets. I think that's fine. Sideboard is really normal. I am playing Ghost Vacuum over Rest in Peace, which we've tried in the past. I think mana curve considerations is a big thing, but also Ghost Vacuum is just like it's just better than Rest in Peace against Gorios and Grixis, I think, because it wins the like it's a Rest in Peace that costs 1 mana and it wins the game in the late game. It's awesome. Is that a photo of me and my dog? It's both. We have a new sponsor, Helix Sleep. I shot like a little commercial for it that they did not ask me to do. They did not ask me to shoot the commercial, but I thought I'd put a little bit of extra effort into this one because it's a pretty fun sponsor. So as far as the Gorio stuff goes, I'm a little less worried about it. Go to 5, but mulliganing a lot. Okay, I guess I have been mulliganing a lot lately, but my mulliganing a lot lately has largely been due to playing that Necro deck, I think. Can I afford to keep this Force of Negation? I guess not on the mull 5. Second commercial when my game launches. I guess so. That one is going to be higher production value. Higher production value. Could they imprint Emrakul? I heard some people say that Through the Breach was a deck that some people were doing well with recently. Okay, whenever a token you control enters, if you gain 1 life if it's the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, I feel like the syntax could be better. If it's the second time, draw a card. If it's the third time, put a counter on each creature you control. Whew. I was worried, shaking in my boots that Wizards of the Coast had abandoned. I think I need to get my Meteor Sword here. Shaking, crying in fear that Wizards of the Coast had abandoned Boros energy as an archetype. I'm glad finally they've printed another payoff. I don't know that this is better than Voice of Victory. It's good with Voice of Victory. So they K-command into Subtlety. Wow. I guess I do need to keep the Meteor Sword. Play a voice, replaces Halia. Yeah, I mean, I agree. You can, I agree. This deck seems like it'll fit in there. Is this card better than the Landfall Battlecry creature? I don't know. Would have been a nice game to win the die roll, I guess. My Stoneforge does resolve. I do get Meteor Sword. Zabas with the 3-7. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Card is pretty slick with Asmo. Oh, yeah. So far, the Hobbit set not looking very powerful. Yeah, we saw Bilbo's Gambit. This card, I think is a good bit worse than Reprieve. And Reprieve is currently not so good. So maybe I need to blow up a Tron land to... Interesting that they're probably just playing Portrait of Calamity, actually. Am I gonna want to... I don't think I want to Ephemerate the, I don't think I want to Ephemerate the Stoneforge Mystic this turn, so I'm gonna Prismatic Ending the token. Is silence worse than drawing a card or just different? Well, it's not silence. It's you give your opponent a treasure and silence, but yeah, it is worse. It's also like silence silence after your opponent's cast a spell is not very good. I think it's like the when does the silence effect happen? They played the tower second, right? Yeah, let's kill the tower. When does the silence effect trigger or happen? The silence effect happens after your opponent has already played a spell. So they've already tapped their mana for something. So you're not like stopping them from getting to use their mana. You just start going down a card here. You know what I mean? Like the card silence kind of seems you just upkeep silence and then they never get to tap the mana anyways. Okay, let's go ahead and attack for 1. They did play at Urza's Mine, so I'm glad we targeted the Tron land there. I think Belladonna took his energy, probably just not worth it in energy. Yeah, energy has like infinite like flex 2-drops they can play. Let's see, the took card seems dead with K Command. So K Command is currently nutty with itself. It's not very often that you're like, aha, this card is really good if I resolve a big K Command. It's just resolving a big K Command increases your win percentage by a lot already. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. So you I agree you're not going to get to that often. At that point, like let's get the card that Reprieve has, huh? So I guess we're hoping they brick off of Portent of Calamity here, although it's X equals 10, not very easy to brick off of that. Looks like they find an Ugin. Let's go to game 2. I'm going to bring in my Consigns. I'm going to bring in my White Orchid Phantoms. High Noon does stop Portent, although I don't think that that's going to be very important. Let's not bring it in. I think the Disputes are probably good too. Let's cut the Assimilation Aegis. I think I'm going to play like 2 or 3 Prismatic Endings. I do want to be able to snag like maps and talismans. I think I'll go down to 1 or 2 Solitude. Probably just 1. Like I do have the Stoneforge stuff to sometimes remove big stuff, but they don't even play almost any creatures. They might play like 1 Sire. I think we can keep 1 in. I want the Subtlety. My opponent has Subtlety, so I think yes. Maybe I go down 1 Ephemerate, keeping a restitching probably over an Ephemerate. I guess I'm just going to go to 0 Solitudes. I'm serious, I just bought a Helix Match this week ago, didn't realize the particle. I mean, it just started, although... I guess I could have said... I've known I was just going to happen for a while. Snares any targets? Oh, you know what? Yes, Snare is probably a little weak. It has some targets. Good catch. Appeared with a 3/3. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, this is Hide on the Ceiling for Spider-Man. I guess maybe I should have used the Spider-Man version that's available now. Another Mold of 5, just not drawing functional hands. Yeah, it's the same card as Hide on the Ceiling. Okay, so let's go put back 1. I think I am going to keep the Prismatic Ending. It's just really important I can snag a map, or maybe a turn 1 Talisman. Try to find a land off of the Surveils for turn 3 Riddler Ephemerate to unmulligan to 5. I think it's worth looking for spots for second Meteor Sword would be good. Yeah, I mean, second Meteor Sword has its moments for sure. I think that I would just rather play like a Teferi instead of another Meteor Sword, so I could just bounce the first one back to my hand. That's sort of my current attitude, I suppose. I think I'm gonna go for Riddler Ephemerate over Teferi while my opponent doesn't have any untapped mana. They may still Subtlety. We want to Ephemerate in response to the trigger, so we get the extra card. We have talked about the new Reprieve like card. I think it seems to be worse than Reprieve for the most part. Like your opponent, like the gifting the fish isn't also good, and okay, they have Force pitching Force. Gifting the fish isn't all that good, and when you make them unable to cast spells, like they've already cast a spell that turn, so it's like that's not even all that interesting either. Condescend. I put together Cosmic Dominance, Necro, Cosmic Oif, any mulligan tips. You definitely have to mulligan a lot more aggressively than you might think. They put a card on the bottom. I think I actually am gonna minus on the spawn. I don't care so much about not getting the card because I've got the Quantum Riddler next turn. It's like a little bit weird to do that, but I think it's fine. So they have Tron. Guess we weren't beating this that often on our multi-5. The Force and Decay command into Tron here. Teferi does shut off Portent, casting a spell, I believe. I think the main thing with Second Sword is makes Ephemerate Stoneforge a lot better. I agree. I think it's possible to play Second Sword. I can't speak too much for Modern. Bilbo's Reprieve is going to be extremely annoying in the standard Blue-White High Noon deck. I believe that. I think for Modern, it's going to see probably no play. They have null Elemental Blast for Teferi. It's crazy. We might actually just be able to concede. Or I could cast a Quantum Riddler. Alright, I think let's just go next match. We have 2 of our 3 equipments in our hand here. You'll keep it. Do a brood around freed from the real? I don't know what I just pressed with this. I don't know what just popped up there. Card freed from the real. Untap creature, untap creature. I have a couple times. It's it would be like a long time ago. Yeah, challenge started about 30 minutes. Forest go. I'm understanding a projection to Bill's Gambit. They've cast a spell by the time you say they can't cast spells. They cast a time by the time you can't cast spells, sure. But the primary effect of the card is that their spell doesn't resolve when they can't try recasting a turn. I don't see how that's limiting. I would just I would rather not give them a treasure and draw a card with Reprieve than I would rather do this. I think that that's just much stronger. Blow up the forest here. It's like you are, especially with how like low spell cards are. So it's like I think this card is mostly worse than Reprieve, and Reprieve is not very good at Modern. Is maybe that other part should be mentioned. It's kind of, that Reprieve is kind of a fringe card. So the main deck, if we don't find it's a Teferi, Consign, or Force of Negation, I guess that's a lot of cards. We're gonna be kind of cooked. We have so many sideboard cards post board. So I think I want to be able to surveil something into the yard here. Like, and then also like you like, and so so instead of like putting the spell back in their hand and saying they can't cast spells, it's less mana efficient than just casting Orm's Chant for 1 mana or kicking it for 2, and then they can't attack. You know. All right, let's go ahead and surveil. Not lucky enough to put a creature in the graveyard, I guess. I think we might as well put the Cryptic Coat into play. I guess it's gonna be harder, but I can maybe Solitude it to gain a little bit of extra life. And maybe I could just let this go to the graveyard if it's good for a future living end, and it is pretty good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go Solitude pitch ending. I'm gonna just go ahead and not exile anything. If they have the endurance, they have the endurance. Oh, it looks like they are Bant's living end. I haven't really seen Bant's living end. Oh, they have the endurance. I'll scoop to the endurance if they have it. I think it would have resolved already if they had it. Oh wait. Okay, don't need to scoop. I can also equip the Meteor Sword to the Solitude and get into a spot where I'm just kind of ahead on board. I have a 6/4 against their 5/7s. Maybe a little late to the party, Teferi. I think with this draw, I want to go Assimilation Aegis, maybe to bait Force of Negation. But I can also just do this, and I can equip the Aegis to the Solitude, and I can get I could just get a stabilized board here. The falls completely left the format, right? Yeah, I think it was pretty predictable that Violent Outburst would not make Rhinos a playable modern deck again. That has certainly been the outcome, and I do believe again this was a pretty predictable outcome. I think I'm bouncing the Curator. Drew another Teferi. I guess I could bounce the Int now if I wanted. I think what I'll do instead is I'm going to equip the Meteor Sword to the Int, and if they want to send both a Teferi to kill my Teferi, which they'll probably do, I get to kill their Int, and then I get to replay another Teferi next turn. It's kind of a funny board to have, huh? So we'll see if they replay the Curator. My graveyard is stacked enough that we're not weak to another living end right now. Maybe if they go cycle, cycle, cycle or something. They do replay the Curator. So I'm going to draw a dead Spell Snare unless I can pitch it to Force later, I guess. We'll rebounce the Curator of Mysteries, I think. Play a Plains. We'll bounce the Coat end of turn, but I want to... is it better to... No, I don't think it's better to lose the... I don't think it's better to lose the Teferi. Yeah, I also really enjoy odd game states. It's a good card. Onion with the 16 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Great draws. Not a lot to do with this Stoneforge besides just get the Cryptic Coat stuff going. I think it's okay to play though. Also, just want to get the hand more empty for the Riddler, I suppose. We're not quite at enough loyalty for Teferi to bounce the Meteor Sword back to our hand and replay it, I guess. Thanks again, Onion Flake. Opponent's got 7 cards in hand. They main phase Endurance. I imagine they'll target me. Well, they target themselves. Okay. They did reveal a lot of cards to Living End, so maybe they just don't have... maybe they just don't have any more Living Ends left in the deck at all. I mean, I get to draw 2 cards off this Teferi. It's pretty good. So I'm going to go attack with my Cloak token and my Generous Ent here. Have I thought about Vivian, Monsters Advocate for Cub combo? Does a similar role of Nissa... I can't recall the actual text. Oh, so if I bounce my Meteor Sword, I only get to draw 1. Okay, I guess I'll just bounce the Curator. Draw 2. Because this will go back to my hand, and then I won't get the extra card from the Riddler. And I might just want to bounce the Cryptic Coat and put it back into play, too. Like, I remember Vivian Monsters Advocate is a card that was not playable in Standard. That's kind of my memory of the card. So usually when that's my memory of the card, I don't have it too deep in the database there. Been liking Ghost Vacuum a bit more than I thought I would. I maybe have too many cards for the matchup, although I need to get these snares out of here. And I need to get the Prismatic Endings out of here. So at that point, it is only 3 cuts, I guess. I think I like the idea of trimming Phelia number 4. We can cut the restitching. Cut the Aegis? Aegis might be good as like a white card to pitch for Solitude that I can tutor, but... If we lose this game after being up a game and boarding in like 9 sideboard cards, that'd be a bit of a bummer. Cut Subtlety. Subtlety's never cut any number of Subtlety against Living End. It is one of the best cards in Modern against them. While not being very good against the card Living End itself, it is insanely good against like the rest of their deck. Yeah, always happy to like get it in Tomb against Living End like this. Curse of RNG with the Twitch Prime, thank you. Wistfulness. So if they have Force of Negation into Endurance, we may lose. Okay. High Noon Resolve. They may just have another copy of Wistfulness though. Looks like they do. Don't currently have another sideboard card, although we do have a lot of cards in the deck. I think I need to keep white card in hand for Solitude. I guess I'm just warping a Riddler. Might get to surveil something else in the yard if they do go for it this turn. My opponent has decided not to play Violent Outburst in favor of playing a Bant mana base, by the way. I've heard some rumblings of people doing this, but I didn't know these people were real. Okay, it's fine. I don't have any counter spells in my hand, I guess. So that's my last Surveil land out of the deck. My Teferi probably a little bit better than theirs. Are they on the Blue-White Cascader? We haven't seen it, but I'm assuming. Usually you're Sultai if you just go down to the 1 Cascader. So next turn I'm probably going to go Stoneforge plus Riddler plus Ephemerate the Riddler. Sultai performed better than Teamer Bant versions was funny. And just in general, or like, not at the Pro Tour, right? The Pro Tour was all Teamer. Challenge starting in 15 minutes. Oh, I didn't know Jody was playing Sultai version. Thought it was all Teamer. Hope they don't have Otawara. That would be not so good for us. It would be really cool if Sultai or Bant were the better versions. I'm not really a believer, but it would be. I would love it because Outburst is not the best card in the format or anything, but it's just kind of annoying. So my Stoneforge is currently alive, as you might notice. Always thirsty to put a Meteor Sword into play. Bounces Teferi to my hand. So can't cast that as a their copy of Teferi. So I imagine this is not going to resolve. Ah, could have paid for it. Although maybe that wouldn't have worked. So I guess we're going to be setting up to evoke Solitude and Ephemerate the Solitude after a Living End resolves. You could have put Sword into play, then rebounded. That's true. I guess that would be a little bit better. If you want to laugh, read the comments on my latest Trudge video. There's a person claiming you stole the decklist idea from Ultronless because you cast Ulamog Irmical. You should. I mean, surely that's just a joke. But I mean, I guess that's what you mean by a laugh, right? At this point in the game, maybe yeah, I might just want one more life than I want a Solitude in the graveyard. So let's hope they don't also have the Endurance. Couldn't you have done that upkeep then? The Stoneforge play? They had 3 loyalty on Teferi, so they could have activated it. They cycle a Curator. They've got a pretty stocked graveyard. I think I would start with the Curators. There's no reason to do this if we're ephemerating. It's kind of just one less exile. I guess it's the same amount of exiles, but it's weak to endurance. But you're right. I guess we didn't need to do it this way. It's got 5 toughness. Just hardcast this Riddler, draw the extra card now. I don't think we got a lot of time to waste warping. They might have a dispute though. They do have a second dispute. So they got a lot of power, toughness. Was it maybe better to equip Meteor Sword to Solitude? Well, I was a double block here, so I would gain 3 up to 21, and then I would take 9 plus 7, 16 down to 5, and I'd have no board. Don't think it's really getting a lot better than this. But we may just have to settle this in the next game. All right, let's go to the next game. So hope we can finish this up before the challenge starts. All right, on the play. Can we keep this on the play? One thing that's nice about having Stoneforge Meteor Sword on the play is you can just Stone Rain them before they could get the Living End off of. And then we can maybe be bouncing the Meteor Sword to our hand with Teferi. Yeah, I got a stocked water bottom. I think I like Phelia over one Consign on the play. It's interesting. So maybe next turn I'm going to go cast Ghost Vacuum and Stonebraid them. What maybe you want to go with Badgerbow over Necrogoyf? I've been playing a lot of Necrogoyf this week, and I just kind of feel like I wanted like a little bit of a break from it, and it was honestly just the deck I wanted to play when I woke up today. Not too complicated, I guess. Yeah, if they have to waste their Force of Negation on this, that's just so good. I think I'm gonna blow up the Temple Garden. It's probably a little bit harder for them to cast Teferi, right? I'm a sicko. I think this deck would love Boomerang Basics. I mean, it's only good if you have Stoneforge in play and Meteor Sword in play, and Teferi's kind of doing that, although slower. Badger with the 49. Thank you. Welcome back. 2 Street Rays. Pretty good against Ghost Vacuum, I guess. And another Int. They get a second copy of Temple Garden there. They have 8 cards in their hand. It's a sorcery. Yeah, Boomerang Basics is a sorcery. It'd be like really power crept at instant. So opponent plays a tapped Temple Garden. It's nice not to have to play around Violent Outburst, I guess. Are we jamming? Why don't we surveil? And maybe surveilling can give us a little bit better info on it if it's correct to jam or to not. I don't feel like that's any info. I think my instinct is telling me not to jam this turn. Oh, I guess I should have attacked for 1. Bluffing, I suppose. Yeah, I agree. If having another blue card would be really nice. But them just not being able to resolve a living in this turn is pretty good for us. Seems like they're going to play something. It's a good something. I could evoke Solitude, exile the Wistfulness, maybe. I think I'm going to not do that. I think that loses the like grindy game plan too often here. It does. Okay, drawing Phelia. I think I'm just gonna. It's now attack, but I'm just gonna pass. They missed their land drop, so I could start to Stone Rain them potentially. Okay, well there's the land. I think they've got Mystical Dispute up here. So I think we need to Pitch Force and then play this Phelia. But then we are now like pretty weak to. We're now pretty weak to an agent, but we can maybe keep them off of another Ardent Plea. Don't think there's really much else happening here. Crazy we weren't able to stop. We were able to stop the living and stuff game one, but then with 3 High Noons, 4 Consigns, we were not able to stop it. I do like that I can hardcast Subtlety against Endurance, I guess. I think I'm just gonna exile the Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, maybe I should leave them both alone, but my life total is a little bit scary here. So one thing that's nice here is I'm able to equip the Solitude to with the Meteor Sword, and I guess I'm not stable because they can attack with this with the Exalted from Ardent Plea. Oh no, they can't. Sorry, thought it would have 4 toughness. Challenge starting in 2 minutes. Hopefully we can get done by then. Nice to have a dispute up this turn. They do still have 6 cards in their hand. Might have been good to just run out the Subtlety and like equip the Meteor Sword. Like I could have not exiled anything with the Solitude, and I could have just like played Subtlety and like equipped and attacked and hope they had nothing. Would have been better if I knew I was drawing Dispute, maybe. Doesn't seem like this is too bad of a spot to be in, though. So I don't want to Subtlety when they can Subtlety back without the ability to cast Dispute. Maybe I'm missing something. Why not hardcast Subtlety on Agent? Well, I was thinking that this game would go longer and grindier, but I think the more I'm thinking about it, the more that would have been better. Although I guess if I mean they could just living in the following turn. I don't know if that's necessarily good for me. Have we considered play Rusings, take a Wilderness Rack? I'm just gonna be honest. I really didn't like the list very much. Wait, they're casting Living End here? No, they're just getting another Exalted in play. Okay, let's not have that, I guess. What a weird game. Be Solitude Cascade, trigger a second, shuffle back away. Ah, I see. Oh, but if I do that, then the Living End kills my Subtlety. So you have to do it after the Living End resolves. Okay, so round 1 of the challenges started. We are lucky enough to have won the die roll. Let me resize this Snorlax here. Mulliganing my 7. Going to 5. Keeping my 5. Okay, I'm just gonna concede this game so we can focus on the challenge here. James Foster and Meteor Blade. I think the card is just worse than Teferi for the most part and kind of underpowered. Okay, we're on the play, new match here. But it would be cool to blink a sword. The problem is usually not like being good once you have sword in play, you know what I mean? I do think I just probably want to grab the sword with the Force of Negation in my hand to protect the Mystic. I've tried a version with one Tyvar, useful for Shang-Chi. So we had 3 Tyvars before Shang-Chi got printed. I think Shang-Chi's mostly just better. And then you like not having to splash of color is really nice. Yeah, you should change the setting of the client so that the triggers don't stack automatically so that you can make sure you're stacking your Nantuko triggers correctly. I tried arguing with a lot of people on Drowner versus Symbiosis. A lot of people still say Drowner, although I know you're right. Yeah, that's I believe I'm right too. I think it's really close, and so people are just this. Don, I'll give you some advice. Like I spent all day arguing with people about decisions for Magic cards, and people only ever like people just don't change their mind very often about anything. Seems hard not to spell snare this, I guess. Although I could just set up the Solitude Ephemerate later, maybe. Oh, Tyvar the Pummeler. Tap another creature control, gains indestructible. Creatures get plus X was X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Is this card better than Craterhoof Behemoth? Is this deck playable in form with Arbor? Arbor is one of the most important cards. So I would not recommend playing it in a format without Arbor, but you know, sometimes if you gotta scratch the itch, you gotta scratch the itch, you know what I mean? I'll let them fetch before I put the sword into play. It doesn't give trample. That is tough. It's also only like giving like +3/+3 a lot of the time, which I don't like so much. Yeah, I could give it a look at some point, Don. Just don't want to derail the stream too much. Hello. So I like being able to bounce the sword back to my hand at some point. Have not found a third land yet. We brought the mana down to 2 for each of us. Yeah, I do agree that tap land is really, really rough on the Drowner. Opponent does nothing. Yeah, no, as soon as I got the Helix sponsor offer, I knew I was going to do something something like this. Me and Esther were giggling a lot putting that together. But another Stoneforge there. I have played a card build with a cub build with cards. I told someone recently I hadn't, and I was looking at all my builds I had. I promise you don't want cards. I promise you don't want them. Like pact Green Sun or pact Summoner's Pact. That's your card. Green Sun Zenith is your card. So if I draw a land, I could set up to Meteor Sword again. Okay, I did draw the land. Because I could go 2 mana, flip up the Stoneforge, 2 mana, put the sword into play. Do I want to do that now and just Stone Rain them? I think I'd rather chill. I might Solitude Ephemerate if they send everything and then get their whole board, and then I can just do this later. Yeah, it is a mattress company. I mean, this is the first day of the sponsor. You get 27% off. 27% off your order if you type !Helix. Take your sleep quiz. I shot our first ever commercial for a sponsor. They did not ask me to. Yeah, let's Solitude Ephemerate. I guess I could also flip the Stoneforge up at some point on this turn cycle here. And then I could maybe rebound the Ephemerate on the Stoneforge Mystic to get the Aegis if they don't play another creature here. And we also have Hardcast Force up, so feeling pretty good about our spot. What was the budget? I guess $30 because I had to buy this these pajamas and this Ebenezer Scrooge hat. Yeah, I haven't showed it yet. I don't know when I'm going to show it. Probably a little bit later. Might play it twice today. So I guess let's go transform the Stoneforge Mystic. Put a Meteor Sword into play. Can I play? No. Poor energy player. Poor energy player. All right. Through one Consign, 2 Force out for 3 Wraths. I think is our sideboard plan. Let's go to game 2. Are there no sheets on the bed? Well, it was a creative choice, but it is a mattress company. It's not a sheets company. So I thought if it was just a picture of me sleeping on some sheets, it wouldn't be quite quite as good of an ad. Did they send me a mattress to try? They sent me a mattress to keep, and I do like it. It is very soft and very comfortable. That is one of their mattresses. Okay, yeah, Lucy doesn't shed very much, but Athena does a lot. Although Lucy, I wasn't even like planning to have the dogs in, but she just came here, so she got to be in the commercial. Athena came for a little bit and left. I'll how about this? I'll play the commercial after this match, before round 2 of the challenge starts, assuming that this round doesn't go super long and we just have to jump right into round 2. Yeah, the challenge match was really fast. We played against Neo4, or not Neo4, Hollow 1. Free matches, big money, yeah. You know, they let me pick any size, and Esther was really adamant that to get the queen size mattress for the guest bedroom, which is what this picture's in. But I'm like, we could get a free king. It's just she wasn't having it. What do you think of Fervent Champion 5 through 8? There like 4 years ago, I would have been very excited to hear this. No Haste is pretty tough. Much worse card. There's also only 2 less instead of 3, which I guess isn't all that relevant. I guess I keep this on the draw against energy. Speron with the 44 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm too cute to be noticed in the picture, apparently. Maybe it's better to get Hallowed Fountain this turn so I could go tapped Archive from hand next turn. Have we discussed the Goblin Young Pyromancer Bard guy? No, I haven't even heard about it. Like, I haven't been... Are spoilers done today for The Hobbit? Because this may be the shortest Cards in Modern video ever. Next Friday, okay. Because so far shit is weak. Okay, I see it. There's a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, amass goblins 1. Probably worse than Young Pyromancer. Although I don't know, you do get to make goblins. Goblins are maybe better than elementals. Okay, I don't really want to surveil main phase into the Dash Ragavan. Oh yeah, cause it's non-creature. Okay, that is better. Although there's also there's a 2/1 that makes 1/1 artifacts. Although it's blue and red. It's interesting. It'll probably get talked about a little bit. Maybe not. Oh, they flipped it to Teferi. All right, let's go to game 3 against the Teferi. With Skirk, they become a ruby medallion, which reduces color. Yeah, I mean, or just a Burgie. 2 cards to build a Burgie, which is not a very good card in Modern. I feel like outside of Bilbo, I'm not really very excited for any card here. Maybe I can cook with Lord of the Eagles or something. They might not have cast it. I mean, they're gonna cast it. New elf, okay. Affinity for elves is a cool line of text. Okay, okay, we can work with this. When this creature enters mill 4, put all elf cards from among them into your hand. So it's possibly a 1-mana goblin recruiter for elves. Or not recruiter, ringleader for elves. And it's a 4/3. Okay, I can work with that. This card is actually insane for elves in modern. The art kind of reminds me of the Mighty Nine, the twins. Or not the Mighty Nine. The other one, Vox Machina. I think I'm gonna keep this on 6 against energy instead of mulling to 5. Yeah, it's a 1-mana Winding Way, or hopefully it's a 1-mana 1-mana a lot of the time on a 4/3. It's cool. It's cool that you can't tutor it very easily either outside of Summoner's Pact for like balance purposes. Also, is LeBron really going to the 76ers? Is that true? It's kind of a weird pick. It is true. Interesting. Shams tweeted it. Okay. I can see it. Sure, Jaylen Brown's really fucking happy. I think Joel Embiid with LeBron is gonna be like a really fun duo too. Is that real? Well, usually if Sham says it, it ends up being real. Although I guess it may not be officially confirmed yet. I guess we'll pass with the Phelia here. Apparently, he wanted the Cavs to trade for Kyrie, but the Mavs said no. Good. He could have just come to the Mavs. Yeah, I guess he can mentor Edgecombe instead of Cooper. So if they attack, we should expect a second Bowmaster. So let's not play into that here. Looks real. Yeah, I would imagine that it's going to be real. I think it's fun to go to a team that, like, the 76ers have never won a championship before, right? So it's kind of fun to try to, be that guy for that team too. Wait, 2-year, $8 million? Oh, that's crazy that he signed that low. I wasn't thinking he was going to actually sign that low. I know people were saying it, and I thought there was no way. You have won a couple? Okay, sorry. Sorry to all the Philly fans in the world. I didn't know your game. All right, let's get the Cryptic Coat. If they Bowmaster to try to block, I might Ephemerate the Phelia. Having considered the Mighty Thwart the investors are one of is more expensive than Phelia, has flying and generates card advantage with big equipment. The thing is, the card is only good after you've Stoneforged and put something into play. It's just like too narrow for like a clunky 3-drop. So I guess I get the sword this time. Looks like LeBron tweeted. Cool. I think it's a fun pick for him. Should we have ephemerated before the ping? Yes, we should have. Also, only 3 matches in progress in the challenge. We may not get to air our commercial this round after all. I was so hoping to see what Ant Minnesota. Yeah, I was like, I think every NBA fan is coping when it's like, he could come play with Kyrie in Dallas. He likes Cooper. He could mentor Cooper. We got a fun team. So they do attack with the Orc. They have 4 cards in their hand. They did finally fight red mana. They play into Johnny. He could also require. I genuinely, he's too good to retire yet. I think he's still good enough to be a great NBA player. It's just too early, in my humble opinion. So if they double block the Phelia with the Bowmasters, I can Solitude to save it. They have a third Bowmaster. They're surveilling. I love that they're fetching this now because now I really want a Solitude to save it, so I could Stone Rain their only red source. They see the trailer for the new Avatar series. Is it the new series or the movie? I guess either way, I'm not going to watch it. I never watch trailers for things I know that I will watch for sure. You know, if I never if I know I'm going to watch it for sure, and I'm sure I'll watch a new Avatar series or movie, I just don't watch the trailer. It's better that way. Put deep in the tank on the surveil here. It's a new series coming out in October. Cool. Yeah, it's Mardu Energy. It's been a little bit more popular lately. Do we have to take the time? Well, they said sorry, I need to think, so I want to make sure there's no pressure for them to play faster. So they decide to graveyard Galvanic Discharge here. They go for the double block. I'm gonna pitch the Wrath the Skies here. Where's Night Energies? There was some Night Energy with Safi, Eric's Daughter, Renegade Rallier combo. Although, with Goblin Bombardment. Although the problem is that combo is worse than just a Johnny plus Bombardment together. Please don't bring back Bowmaster back to being everywhere in Modern. You know, I like the power level of Bowmaster post Ring ban. A lot of people were saying, you know, Bowmaster is still gonna be very good post Ring, and maybe that would have been true before MH3, but I was always saying that its playability in the format was really correlated to the popularity of the Ring, which coincidentally was very high for a long time. I love blinking Meteor Sword. It is it is such a fun thing to do. Question for you, red salsa, green salsa? Historically red, but with my digestion issues, I'm going green a lot of the time lately. So after some thinking, they play a Guide of Souls. And then they play in a Johnny. It's a good draw. Let's go ahead and attack. Blink the sword again. See what they want to do. How's the game development going? It's going well. The lawyers are taking more time, than I thought, which has been slowing some stuff down, but we should still be on schedule. Our investor has been awesome. He not only did he give us like a good rate for his money, but he's a former software developer, and he's built a tool for us to use, which is looking good, and he's really passionate about the game, and he's been really good to work with so far. This is a guy who tweeted deafening silence was the answer against Ponza, because that doesn't make a lot of sense because they main deck High Noon. It's a physical game. I think once we I don't know exactly what the announcement schedule is going to look like, but it'll be in December. That things will be available for pre-order. Hopefully it all works out. Well, my opponent earlier asked for me to let them play, so now they are really taking max advantage of that. Is it co-op or competitive? I guess I could say it's cooperative. A new reveal about the game. I'm glad you're the last. Oh no, we already finished our challenge match. We're waiting for this is just a league. But that will be the last thing I reveal at the game. I'll just drip it all. Yeah, but it is cooperative. It's still no. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and Aegis to exile the warrior token, which won't trigger the Ajani, and then the sword will come back and kill this. Took my turn a little bit faster than my opponent took their turn there. I do think they should have blocked with everything, probably. That Helix Pro was compelled me to visit the website, so we got and tell them that too. My house will be full of mattresses one day. Yeah, my opponents tell me the first Solitude screwed them hard, and then they concede the match. Okay, there's one match left in progress here. So on the play against Kihira, guess we're gonna keep this on 5. Probably put back the basic against what's likely Ponza here. And playing 5 basics. So I want to wait so I can ephemerate this, although it's pretty likely to just get eroded. They got double Sunken Citadel plus the Mounted Monastery. Patty with tier 1 for 3 months in advance. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Redirect for Lightning is a pretty cool tool against them. Maybe I'm supposed to go for Stoneforge this turn and try to like empty the hand into Riddler. Like Warp Riddler is kind of good because they have all this extra mana to hardcast it. And they have Solitude anyways. Yeah, I feel like I'm just going to lose to the Mounted Monastery now. Is Avengers disassembled? Okay, that's great for me that they waited. They used that aggressively. I guess they don't think it's going to kill anything. So I think I need to get Cryptic Coat here. I don't think I can rely on... I don't think I can rely on the Meteor Sword resolving. Cryptic Coat is actually really, really good against them too. They just... The steady stream of ward creatures is a pretty big threat. Game plenty prepared with my basic lands today. Very interesting that they... I mean, maybe they just have chained these together, but they could have played this instead of the Avengers disassembled a couple turns ago. Alright, cannot say no to blowing up this Mounted Monastery. What a lucky top deck. Do I guess they need to have untapped White Source plus Wrath of Gods as exactly their 2 unknown cards for this Cryptic Coat to really get punished, so let's not play around that. Wait, I don't have one more basic? Oh, I just manifested a basic. So they have another Mounted Monastery. So I guess this turn I'm gonna go to Fairy Time Raveler. I just can't let this happen. Assuming that they don't have a removal spell, I'm gonna bounce the sword back to my hand and blow up the monastery. Attack for 3. Yeah, Nihira used to be one of my favorite cards ever. She's definitely washed, unfortunately. Seems like maybe they have a Solitude here. I've got a Solitude too. I do think I want to play around Wrath Disguise. Wad's Monastery so card. It just draws a card every single turn, and these games like when they're drawing a card every single turn and they're killing your creature for 1 mana, it's very hard to pressure them and not just like lose to the cards. But if I can blow up the monastery, then I'm the one with the value engine and they're not. So this is like a very old tech, but what you want to do to avoid a little bit of a blowout here is you want to activate Stoneforge Mystic, respawn, bounce the Cryptic Coat. Because if you go bounce Cryptic Coat and then wait for the coat to be in the hand before you Stoneforge, your opponent can kill the Mystic in response to the Cryptic Coat activation, and they can stop you from ever being able to put the coat back into play there. Now, I think I'm just going to continue to coat. Since my opponent is a deck with a bunch of sweepers, I want to be able to play around those. We can present lethal next turn with the Meteor Sword too. Oh wait, I have Teferi, right? But just teaching the check. Okay, so we're up a game against Ponza. I want to be cutting all 4 copies of Prismatic Ending, and then I think I'm bringing in the Phantoms. I'm killing the monasteries is really important, and then I don't think I want to play Ghost Vacuums just as like late game win the game card, especially because they get swept up by Wrath. I think I might actually just play a couple 3-mana leaks. I didn't know Sunken was 2 mana for land abilities. I see now. Yeah. I guess that's the main thing it is. Just because you're tech, you should play the right planets. Actually, you should do the opposite. If you have Teferi in play, what you should do is you should do it the wrong way. So later in the match, they might think you'll again do it the wrong way, and you do it the right way, and you get them. Oh, so I have a consign here. Is there counter Solitude ETB, counter Legend of Roku ETB? Probably better than a Ghost Vacuum or Ending. It's like tapping the land responsive strip when we don't have anything, just good habits. Yeah, so like this, I do think that this thinking, and maybe I'm just overthinking it, but if it doesn't matter, like there's nothing your opponent could do to punish you. You should do it the wrong way. You should do it the wrong way so that your opponent will think you'll do it the wrong way again later. It's kind of a silly thought, I know, but I do believe that it's so minor, it's so dumb. Yeah, they didn't have green or blue for Odawar or Besaid June. So like you have to be really sure. You have to be really sure that you are right, that there's nothing they can do to punish you. And I think most of the time you'll just be wrong about that. And feel really dumb, but to be successful abroad. A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think it's an interesting place for him to land in Philly. I'm surprised. I thought he was going to go to the Cavs, like for sure. I think Philly's a really fun team for him to join. I think it's probably good for the culture, and I'm excited to see him play with Max Combe and Joel Embiid and Jaylen Brown. I think it'll be a good squad. Did I see the spoiler? Belladonna took. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this card is like there are a lot of cards that are kind of cool and interesting like this, but they only go in Boros energy, so it's hard to get very excited for them. I don't really think this will be like a Teferi card. I guess I had minus the Teferi to play around Road. Okay, never mind. Take the turn off. Basic in a row is pretty tough. Hopefully they'll feel to ruin me. I did keep a card on top, so they'll probably feel to ruin me. Yeah, let's blow up the Demolition Field since this is now a Stone Rain effect. I may also bounce the Phantom back to my hand here. Like, it is just very important that I can use this Phantom to kill a Monastery. And now we can't get chanted anymore either. At least while this is in play, they can erode it maybe. I guess I just cast Cryptic Coat. You cast that pretty fast, huh? They reveal Reprieve, Path to Exile, and Field of Ruin. So probably White Orchid Phantom, the Field of Ruin. I guess I'm also going to play Stoneforge Mystic this turn. Nice to draw Solitude for the flip side of the legend here. We're 1-1 in the challenge. We beat Hollow One, then we lost to Cosmogoy Fling. Not really much we could have done. At least in the second Cosmogoy deck matchup. I think we could have won game one. I think I must game one up. Are there surgical adjacent effects that pawns should run to turn on their wildfires faster? Well, surgical doesn't get basic lands, so I don't think there's too many that lets you get basic lands out of the deck. So they path my Stoneforge, predictably. They can't use the Reprieve. They're going to Solitude my Phantom. I think I'm out of Surveils. I think I at least a Steam Vents left. Oh, I have one more Surveil. Okay, I'll take it. And 2 more Shocks. Yeah, I'll keep it Force of Negation. Not like super amazing, but serviceable for sure. I guess I can Assimilation Aegis the Roku. If my opponent kills my Solitude. Otherwise, I could like bounce Solitude, replay it. But Aegising the Roku is kind of cool because I get the ability. Shame you can't Aegis the Flip Saga for value. Wait, why couldn't I? It's like it. Yeah, I guess there's that. It doesn't copy the Roku. You get the front side. I guess so. Doesn't the equipment fall off because it's no longer a creature? I would assume that's not how it works. They surgical my Flooded Strands. Kind of weird. Let me make sure that doesn't. So it says, exile 1 creature until it leaves the battlefield. Yeah, I don't think it would go away just because it stops being a creature. That doesn't really make much sense to me. So I could bounce and I could force on the way down if I'm really forced to do that. They have 3 cards in their hand. I think if they like kill the Ephemerate token, I don't, or the manifest. Oh, dude, the Castle Artevel is kind of scary. Might hardcast Meteor Sword on it if I draw 1 more land. Only have 1 more land that makes mana in the deck. I have 2 Stoneforges left. Yeah, just an Ephemerate cloaked. What's nice is you can bounce the cloaks back to your hand with Teferi if like it's a spell you really want to play or have in your hand. They have another Solitude. Another Solitude is kind of the worst here. Gotta watch out for the Gihira next turn also. So Teferi's down to 2 loyalty. Bounce the coat. Grab the Steam Vents, I guess. Don't think it makes that much sense. I mean, I guess I lose the Teferi. I don't know. They might have another Orm's chance. Find a Phelia. Okay, so I guess that's kind of our new plan is to just when they attack the Teferi, let it resolve. Then I can like flicker the Solitudes, get rid of both Solitudes with Force Up maybe. And maybe I can find my last another fetch land to Meteor Sword, although they did surgical my Flooded Strands. So they do put the Gihira in the hand, which is going to give their Solitudes vigilance here. Unless I evoke Solitude on Gihira, which is like a little weird. More than a little, I guess. Oh, so, but the coat just makes it unblockable. The card unblockable, so it's I don't need to worry about the blocks. But I do lose ward. That's kind of the problem. So we're gonna let the Teferi die. They're gonna gain 8 life up to 24. So much. We're gonna flip the Phelia up. And then I am unfortunately weak to a 1-mana removal spell at the moment. They don't have it. Great. Don't know what their hand is. They have another surgical. Not exactly sure how much sense that makes. They're still at 29 life. It's not gonna be super easy to fight through that. Well, gotta force this. Did you not want to blink the Aegis? If I blink the Aegis, the Legend of Roku comes back and they get 3 cards. Solitude number 4 or number 3? Does it really matter? Maybe number 4. I guess we just block. They've got 1 card in their hand here. If I draw a fetch land, I have to Meteor Sword because my window to sword closes with any land destruction spell. Maybe I should have played very first, actually. I'll just bounce the coat to my hand. It's a little bit weird. Okay, I've drawn the Consign after they've drawn all 4 Solitudes. I could still consign like a Legend of Roku ETB, I guess. All right. Still, they're going to be able to flip and probably make another 2 tokens here. Poison with the 16 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They're out of cards. Out of cards. Okay. That's good news. They're out of cards. They don't have a good attack here. Got to pause my upkeep with no cards in their hand and a Teferi in play. Thanks again, Poison. Waiting on 2 matches in the challenge. It's been a long league match here. Found a Riddler. I think I'm just going to hard cast. Just focus on getting more beef into play here. They find a Quarry Mountain Monastery, which is pretty bad for me. Maybe their best top deck. They flip over a copy of Field of Ruin, so they're going to be able to Field of Ruin. Oh, they play their land for turn. So I have 1 more turn to draw a land to let me hardcast the Meteor Sword to kill this. Okay. So that's going to be off the table. Do I want to hardcast Solitude on Legend of Roku this turn? I mean, it's that, or like cast Cryptic Coat, hold up Force of Negation, which seems like a little worse. Thoughts on LeBron to Philly? I think it's a fun place for him to go. I became a Joel Embiid fan a little bit over the playoffs, so like I do feel like they're going to be 2 players that'll be fun to see alongside each other. They still have enough to make a token if I Solitude in response. I guess they're out of basics anyways. Can you bounce Orchid? Not this turn, but I could next turn. They draw. They're going to activate the Mountain Monastery instead of... Okay, I don't know what this is because they've already played 4 Solitudes. Something... Oh, it's Wrath of the Skies? So let's Force of Negation, pitch Subtlety. Yeah, I'm really surprised it wasn't the Cavs as well. I have a slightly out-of-date sideboard guide for Trudge, although you can kind of see what I've been doing with the older version. I need to update it for the Oog and Ulamogs we've been playing. So they're going to go up back up to 27. Then I'm going to attack with everything. I think I'm okay trading Solitudes, and then I'm going to bounce my Phantom, replay Phantom, kill the Monastery. I guess I'm also going to play Stoneforge Mystic instead of playing the Coat. Okay, round 3 of the challenge is starting soon. Where can you find my number, guys? I've only done the one recently, but it's on Moxfield in the primer section for the Trudge match deck. All right, so they take 6, they gain 3, still at over 20 life. I think I believe I have one more fetchable in the deck. No, I'm playing Teferi over Reliquary. This build of the Reliquary was in the mono white version. So I kind of want to hold the Coat if I can to avoid losing to Wrath the Skies. I don't know if I have that luxury. I guess I get an upkeep stop so I could maybe draw a second card off the Riddler. My opponent did draw a spell. They drew Price of Freedom for the Reliquary to get their Legend of Roku back, and they found Price of Freedom and double Avengers Disassembled. I guess that's gonna be tough to beat. All right, challenge has started. Let's go lock in there, I guess. My opponent's last team playing Neobrand, which I'm a little bit concerned about, I guess. I have a hand I'm going to keep. Why is Coat good? It's good to blink with Phelia and stuff. It's good to ephemerate the token. It gives you a lot of recurring value over the course of the game. Well, I'm still in the league match. But that was game 2. Okay, well, my opponent's not here yet. Maybe I'll just keep playing till my challenge opponent shows up, because they actually haven't shown up yet. One hand on the play. So I kind of like that if I Stoneforge Mystic, it forces them to erode and give me that untapped mana. I think I'm going to graveyard this. I kind of hate removing fetchables from the deck. It's not that big a deal, though. And I think in order to force them to erode, I'm going to get the Coat, or so the Sword. Let me check if my opponent's here in the challenge. Yeah, my opponent is here. It's really not a good deck to be double queuing with. So now I can ephemerate the Stoneforge Mystic, which I feel like I just kind of have to take this gift here. If they Solitude, they Solitude. And then I can go Meteor Sword there. Meteor Sword there, Sunken Citadel. And then get my Aegis here. Okay, so I think what I'll do from this point on is just play this other game on the second monitor. It's not going to take that much brain power. So to put the Leyline of Abundance into play, I'm going to go to my first main phase. Make sure I'm not yielded or anything. See the spinning wheel. Okay. Play Wisdom Teeth Go. My opponent has gone Flooded Strand Go here. So I'm going to cast Shang-Chi. Going to make 1 mana, 2 kind of useless mana here unless I somehow... Okay, let's go untap the Halfling, bounce the Dryad Arbor, replay the Dryad Arbor. I'm like really close to being able to comboing this turn, which I didn't even know I could do. I don't think I can combo this turn. I think I'm just going to cast a Shaya. And then cast... Well, I can combo this turn. I can win the game this turn. This is a turn 2 win. I literally didn't even know I could win on turn 2. So let's go untap this and then bounce Corian Ranger. Oh, sorry, I need to be tapping for regular green. Sorry. Oh, and I also need to be... There's just so much to do with this deck. But I need to also be tapping the Corian Ranger for mana as I go. Okay. I'm gonna concede this other match. A little bit annoying, but I just have to. Okay. Too much brain power. So also, thankfully, I have another Badgermole Cub here as my last card, so I can give my own Badgermole Cub haste. I can...